Welcome to the O'Connor Elder Law channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney who does estate planning focused on long-term care, commonly referred to as Medicaid planning, and I do probate, and I do it well. Today I wanted to talk to you about the importance of putting in place a plan if you live with somebody whom you are not married to and you have children from a prior relationship or otherwise a blended family. But before I do, I wanted to invite you to schedule a free strategy session with me at eldermeeting.com. So it's very common these days for people to be in long-term committed relationships but never actually legally get married. And many times people have children from prior relationships, and that's part of the reason why they want to keep their assets separate and not get legally married, because maybe they had a very bad experience with divorce and they just like it how it is. Like there's no reason to go down the aisle and get a marriage certificate and create all that. We're committed to each other. We have an understanding. We have our money the way we have it. That's all fine and dandy. The issue that I want to just raise for folks in this situation is if you're living together in a home that only one person is entitled to, meaning one of you own this home and the other person who lives in that home does not have any lawful ownership interest in the home, then you may want to put some planning in place to protect the partner that does not have a lawful interest in the home, because upon the passing of the person who legally owns the home, the partner who has no otherwise legal entitlement to this home, because they're not a lawful spouse and they're not on title, they will find themselves in a quandary, a housing predicament in the middle of the same time in which they are mourning the loss of their partner, because the family members of the deceased person will be able to lawfully move them along and basically say it's time for you to move out. Not only did you lose your partner, but now you're going to lose your secured housing and you need to make other arrangements, and they can make life very, very difficult for your partner. So if you are in that situation and you actually care and love for your partner and you don't want them to be facing a housing crisis while at the same time mourning your loss, you may want to put in place a plan to provide for them, whether it is in your last will and testament in which you put a provision that they are entitled to remain living in your home for a period of time, whether it's for the duration of their life or for a certain period of years or months or whatever it is that you want to gift them. You will have to provide for that in a lawful document so that way everybody knows your wishes. You could also have your property placed in trust and provide for them that way. That a trust would avoid probate, and it would be another way to have your wishes known. But if you make absolutely no provisions for them, you don't provide for them in the form of any sort of life estate, you don't provide for them in the form of any last will and testament saying that they are entitled to reside in your property for a period of time, if you don't have a trust that otherwise provides for them, you will be leaving them in a really uncomfortable position at the time where they are suffering a great loss, because presumably you have great deep affection and love for each other. So this is just a message to those who live together but don't have anything legally commingled. If that is you, you may want to consider putting in place certain protections so that way your partner won't find themselves in a really bad situation. And while many times, I deal with people who are elderly, I'm an elder law attorney, so many of my people are either nearing retirement or well into retirement. This is a message that goes for any age, quite frankly. It doesn't matter. We don't know what the future holds for us, and you don't know when your final days will be called. So if you want to protect the people in your life, I suggest that you put in place a plan to do so and make your wishes known and make them known lawfully. So that way they have a legally enforceable document to make sure that they don't risk losing their housing. If this information has been helpful, I ask that you like and share with others. And as always, you can schedule a free strategy session with me at eldermeeting.com. Thank you.